A pleasant good morning, Footage Live Television. Today we are privileged to be in the blessed company of an educator. As a matter of fact, he is the principal of one of the oldest and biggest secondary institutions around the Cinco Belt, and president of Mr. Samuel K. Sagbeh. A pleasant good morning, sir, and welcome to Footage Live Television.
It's a glorious opportunity to be with you this morning, and we are grateful that you chose to come to our school so that we can have this conversation.
Okay. We are in a new academic year, so how is things?
Well, it's always exciting to begin an academic year, especially it's always a glorious opportunity to deal with kids and to educate them and to transform them and to make them to know something that they didn't know before. So we always feel elated and excited to be given the opportunity to help to transform the lives of boys and girls.
Accurately, this is the first complete academic year under the real government. What are some of the changes you are observing?
Well, I think it's a continuation of what the previous government started. I think they have the intention to kind of improve upon the gains that were made in the previous government. I think the time is relatively too short to come to realize what the full plans are like, but from the indicators that we have been getting, I think they mean well for the country when it comes to education. They've talked about the continuation of the payment of the WAS fee for 12 years. That is laudable. Just recently we heard about the waiver of tuition for the University of Liberia and other government-run universities. I think that's another laudable effort on their part. And the pronouncements coming out of the Ministry of Education under the present government presupposes to us that they mean well for the educational sector.
And you think there will be some improvement under this government?
I think with a collaboration between the government and us in the private sector, I think if everybody works together collaboratively, collectively, and then we coordinate our efforts, there are chances that we'll do better. But one thing we need to signal out is that the government alone cannot bring about the kind of educational system that all of us crave for. It has to be an amalgamation of efforts from the government and the private sector.
Back in 2013, our former president branded this sector as a message sector. We are accurately a little over 5 years since that statement. How do you look at the sector? Is it improving, or we are still trading the same path?
Though we're not retrogressing, but certainly we still have challenges. And now when we sometimes think of education, there's always room for improvement. Even countries with the greatest educational sector, America, you talk to educators there, they will talk about concerns and challenges that they have. What I can say is since 2005, the educational sector of Liberia has not remained where it is. Right now we have a new educational sector plan. Liberia is trying its best. At least we learn from everything, the mistakes of the past, not that we've graduated from them, but at least people talking about them. So I don't think it is as messy as it was then, but I don't think we have reached that kind of educational utopia that a lot of people look forward to. I think we're still striving and getting there, and that's why I said it calls for the amazing and the commixture of all of our efforts. While the government is making the rightful policies, we have to be in the private sector doing the right things also. We got to be motivational to our students. Parents need to realize that they themselves have part to play in the educational arena. So we don't leave it with just the school or with the government. I think we all have to work together. The government has a primary role to play in that. It's supposed to set the rightful policies and give us the rightful signals and help the educational sector by providing funds and resources as it may need. But the government alone cannot do it and will never ever be able to do it alone. So we all got to help it the process. And every Liberian needs to realize that the achievement of quality education in Liberia rests with everybody, not just with the government or with the schools. I think everybody has got to be part.
Okay, recently there was a report put up by UNDP. According to that report, 67% of Liberian youth are into drugs addicts and other substances. And some Liberians say the information is scary. So you run an public institutions do you sometimes, normally before we heard about Super Friday, worshiping, to going to preachers and taking on type of substances? Do you sometimes come across some of the students here?
Well, the students from every school, not just our school, come from the wider society. So if there's a societal problem of drugs, inevitably there will be some trickling into schools because kids come from the society, they don't come from outer space.
Yeah.
But that presupposes to us, it also suggests to us that everything that we need to do, the schools, the churches, we all have to put our efforts together to give holistic education. Sometimes students in my school do struggle with a lot of things, not just drugs. Some of them have parental problems. Some of them need counseling. And where we see them, to the extent to which they breach our school rules, will come in and discipline them accordingly. So it is a societal problem that everybody is grappling with. So it is not a problem unique to any one institution, but if it is unique to the society, the trickle down effect will be that schools will kind of feed it to.
School, okay. Let me take you now, let me bring you back to your institution. What are some of those things that in Liberia, when you hear the name tutorial, every kid coming up wants to come to tutorial? What are some of the extracurricular activities you offer there for students?
Well, I think first and foremost, our emphasis is on quality education, especially from the Christian perspective. So we are opting for the holistic education of the child from the Christian perspective. So we kind of look at the moral upbringing, the ethical upbringing, and the academic uprightness of the child. So we kind of try to give the kids other experiences, like learning to be good public speakers, like knowing the fundamental human rights, that they can speak to anybody, that they won't be timid. They kind of go with their heads up high and look somebody in the blind of their eyes and speak the truth to them. And at the same time, we kind of inculcate into them certain virtues and certain values that will be commensurating with our Christian and parochial status.
You think that? So what are some of your, you didn't mention the curricular activities?
Well, the kids, for their psychomotor improvement, we allow them to associate in sports. They go through debates competition, meet the challenge. We give them the time to socialize. We have social night for them where they come and dance, and then we also invite other schools. We have a lot of fora for them, and then just any other thing that will help to improve them. Sometimes we call for people just to come and talk to them about social etiquette. So all of those things put together make JJ Rivals a lot more unique. But one thing that we stress in everything that we do, it is academic excellence that really take the preeminence.
So what's your point there for excellence?
Well, you got to have an 87% average for us to consider you an honor roll student. And then if you have a 95 average, we consider you a principal special student. So basically you are to go from 87 above in your average, and then you are not to have any grade less than, say, 75% if you be considered an honor student.
Let me take you around now. There's a major issue around about young people, where the older generation got to believe that the younger generation are not treating the right path. So how do you see the younger generation of Liberia? Is them not trading the right path, or there's some problem they are faced with, or challenges they are faced with?
Well, children don't just come up on their own. Children inherit what the society has got to offer. So if people have that kind of judgment on the kids, we have to watch ourselves too. Because the school is not the only institution that can bring our kids. Remember, we have the institution called the church also.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that the kids are so bad off, does that mean that the church has failed? Does that mean that the society has failed? Does that mean that the government has failed? So all of us got to take that kind of statement and ask ourselves, what are we doing as adults? Yes, the school is supposed to be that institution that help to prepare, that help to transform kids, but the school alone does not make the holistic kid. The school plus all of the other fighters. Let's not forget the family also. People must start getting the value system from the family. So to see that the kids now are not very good, we got to start asking ourselves what kind of value system we have in our families before we kind of even talk about the school or the churches. We all got to work together. So it means that there's a serious problem with the Liberian society. And let's not forget that this 14-year war had a very serious problem, there was this topsy-turvydom of everything that goes on in Liberia. Everything almost turned upside down. So kids are still grappling with that kind of effect. Now, if a kid is home and then he sees his parents like involving with themselves in drunkenness, I think it has an adverse effect on our child. So we want society to kind of take the step forward, the family to take the step forward, the schools, the churches. When we do that, the Liberian youth will move forward. But I don't think it's just good for us to just criticize them without doing anything to help them out.
Okay. Before going to the climax of this interview, let me ask you this final question. Last year, our students performed Desmond when it comes to WAP, and this is a new academic year. According to the Ministry of Education, they are preparing for extra classes for the 12th grade students. The school included in that process. Are you waiting to go for send your student for the extra classes, or you are already having a new program here for them?
Well, in any case, we like to say that all Liberian students perform this money is not the right picture. Yes, most of our schools did perform this money, but not on the overall. There were some schools, like our school, produced students who passed in up to 8 subjects, 7 subjects. So a lot of students passed from our school. The exam was not that extraordinary for us, but on the overall, the result was not all that pleasant. Now, your question about whether we will participate in anything organized by the government, I think what the government is seeking to do is to help all schools to come up with good results. So I don't see the need for any school to say that they won't participate, and for us to be willing to work with the government in any form or fashion that will help our students to be better, and not just our students but other students in the country. But the only thing that we like to say is better coordination, so the program is well coordinated, and then we come to realize whether the program has a definite curriculum. Because in my mind, what will be going on in Montserrat must be going on in every part of the country. Are we that organized? What would the teachers be teaching from? Have they come up with a fixed curriculum for that program? Now, if you say that a math teacher is higher in Montserrat County for that special program, and another teacher is in, say, Sino County, will both of them be teaching on the same level? So we need to kind of come up with some kind of workable curriculum or syllabus for the Saturday classes. And the kind of schedule, how do we schedule it? Do we take all of the 9 subjects on every Saturday, or do we take? So some of these critical technical issues need to be taken care of. But on the overall, we are very supportive of the idea. I think anything done to help the Liberian student to go out there and sit the WASP in any international exam is a step in the right direction. Because all of these students, they're not going to say J.J. Rabba students. After these students should have taken the test, they say Liberian students. Every student is put in one basket. So we cannot say that because we have certain facilities that other schools don't have, so we don't have need for that. Every school does have need for that. In fact, the fact that you even bringing students together, it shows good citizenship, because students will learn to interact with other students from different schools. So I think the government is thinking in the right direction by suggesting that. They only need to put the little technical issues together, and I think the program will be okay.
Okay, finally, before I take leave of you, is there anything that you wish to share with the public that did not ask you?
Well, I'd like to say thanks for coming. I'd like to tell the public that though Liberia is going through a lot of difficulties, we should not be pessimists to think that we cannot elevate ourselves from the present imbroglio that we face, the present problem that we face. Our educational system has got challenges, but if every Liberian is resolved that we can solve these challenges working together, if every parent, every teacher, every school administrator, if the government, all of us can put our efforts together, we can take ourselves out of this quagmire that we are in right now. We can take Liberian educational system to another level. We can improve it, but it has to be done when all of us decide to do it and all of us support the process.
Thank you very much, sir. It was nice having you on Footage.
Yeah, you're always welcome.